Hello and welcome back to the Movies, Games, Comic Books, Anime, and More Weekly. We appreciate you being here and hope you enjoy the show. Let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so I was on Max and siphoning through, and I found an interesting new DC animated movie called Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Now, I thought it was brand new,
Right.
but it actually dropped like back in January 9th of this year, so I'm like, damn, I'm late to the game, because Part 2 and 3 are already out on Amazon Prime, but you got to buy them. And I'm like, I can't wait.
So is it based off of the original comic book?
I'm assuming not, because it doesn't seem like it.
No.
Like it just bounces. Like it has the trippiest a scene change I've seen in a long time. Because like I'm gonna tell you the story from plot line to plot line instead of like how it was sequentially. Because if I do it sequentially, I'll be like, what is fucking happening? Because this is what I was thinking the whole movie through.
Yeah.
So it starts off at the very beginning with Barry Allen waking up in his laboratory after the accident that gave him his powers. He wakes up just like, what's going on? I don't understand what's happening. And some random old guys in the shadows saying like, the beginning. This is the beginning. And like Barry Allen has that thing where he, like you shake your head, like 'cause you think you see something in the distance and you're a little bit groggy.
Yeah.
So you clear your mind and you look back up and it's gone. That's what the old man did. He just dipped. And so then you follow Barry Allen as he meets Iris West. That's her name, right? The chick that he starts dating, and you see their relationship progress little by little. Like first they meet at this diner she works at, then they're dating, then they're getting talking about their wedding, and then they're getting married. So you follow them throughout that, and along with that, you follow him in one of his first adventures, where he ends up fighting the robot Amazo, and he gets rocked by Amazo bad, and Superman jumps in to save him. And Superman gets rocked by Amazo bad. So the Green Arrow comes in and saves him. And they all just escape instead of saving him. Because this Amazo drained the powers of a little bit of the Flash, but a lot of Superman. And Superman's just knocked cold. And so he's so beat up that they need to take him to a hospital somewhere. But he doesn't want to go to Star Labs, which is what their first suggestion was, because they tend to dissect alien species. So they go to Wayne Manor. And Barry Allen, the Flash, and Oliver West, Green Arrow, are confused. Like, why are we at Bruce Wayne's house? And they come to find out that he's Batman. This is like the very formation of the
Justice League.
Yeah. And they're all like, Superman's like, hey Bruce. It's like, get him inside. I'm Batman. And so they're talking about what they should do about Amazo. And Barry Allen suggested they should start a super team because he saw it on a different Earth, a parallel Earth, because his designated Earth is Earth 1, and he had been to another place called Earth 2 that had a super team. So he wants to do that for this one. So they're all like, bet. So they get another group of superheroes to like flesh out the team. They get Vixen, that one chick that could get like the powers of an animal, and Martian Manhunter. And they try to recruit Hal Jordan, and he's like, fuck you, fuck the Justice League, fuck your stupid Cal, fuck your stupid face, and he just fucking dips. I'm like, God damn. You're like, all of us like, what a dick.
And Oliver's usually
Yeah. Like, what a fucking asshole. So they end up having a press conference at this, like that one show, Justice Friends or whatever it was, a long time ago.
Oh, the Super Friends.
Yeah, where it was that one like building, like some random city.
Yeah.
That's the building that that Batman bought for the team.
Oh, the one that they always make fun of on Family Guy. And stuff.
And he's like, I bought it for a song. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was still, he never explained what that meant. Like he bought the building for a song. And I don't know what the fuck that means to this day. So during the press conference, everything's going all great, and then a truck comes out of the horizon and just starts about to smash into him, and Amazo ends up attacking them with Lex Luthor behind him, and they're fighting the Amazo, and they're getting their ass beat because he can just drain their power like a proximity effect. So the minute they get into proximity, anyone with superpowers is getting wrecked, except for Oliver and Batman, and the Flash is like, I got an idea. Because earlier, this guy named Professor Ivo, who created Amazo, had tried to stop him during the earlier confrontation with the three of them, Green Arrow, the Flash, and Superman. And he thinks that if he can get Ivo to come talk to the robot, then maybe he could commits it to stop because the Flash noticed that he was not trying to kill anybody. Amazo was. And then you come to find out that he is programmed to heal or like extend human life perpetually. That's his programming because Professor Ivo contracted a disease that he's basically Benjamin Button. He ages faster than normal. Or I guess he ages in reverse, so it's not really Benjamin Button because Benjamin Button ages in reverse. He started a crippled old man and became a young little kid. So he just aged faster. He's like 36 and he looks like he's 93. And so Amazo, Lex Luthor had tricked Amazo into thinking that by draining the superheroes of their abilities and their meta energy, basically, that he could heal people indefinitely. And so he's just lying to him, just being Lex Luthor. And so eventually he finds Amazo tries to use the meta powers of the heroes because he's winning. Like they're all drained as hell. Like Superman's like, I don't know how much more I got. And like Martian Manhunter's all fucked up too. And so I guess it was only 3 of them, or there should be 4 with powers. The Flash wasn't there because he ran away to find Professor Ivo. And he gives his energy, his meta energy to Professor Ivo. And Professor Ivo dies. And Amazo loses his fucking shit. And he destroys Lex Luthor's, because he was in a power suit. And he comes to find out that Professor Ivo was actually given the disease by Lex Luthor to force him to use his intelligence to build the robot that would he tricked him into thinking that he made this robot for to fix all human diseases, but he was circumventing it to take all meta powers because he wanted the powers for himself because Lex Luthor was just being insane. And the funny part is, like, when they take Lex Luthor away, they put him in a Hannibal Lecter type fucking suit where he's just like, he's got a muzzle around his mouth, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's not a fucking animal.
You just start taking bites out of people.
Yeah, like going by. It's all chased. Like, it's one of the like things where you chain them up and you take them on a dolly away. Like, when you could just put him in handcuffs and throw him in the back of the car.
It's not a metahuman.
Yeah, like, it was the most overdone way to arrest Lex Luthor I've ever seen.
The Hannibal Lecter treatment.
They shouldn't have made it where, like, because they had Professor Ivo in the hospital, the ambulance, and they were reeling him in, and then in the background you see Lex Luthor getting wheeled away. So I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like, this doesn't make much sense.
Like, the juxtaposition was hilarious. You see the sad old man dead, and Ivo's all mad, upset, and you see fucking Lex Luthor dragged across the screen. I'm like, what the fuck? So Amazo, I guess he kills himself. He actually dies of a broken heart. Because Professor Ivo died, he's like, no. And he just powers down forever.
Oh, my God.
So then the story jumps to the wedding of the Flash and Iris West. And all of a sudden, this woman called the Harbinger comes in. It's like, we need your help, Barry Allen. And so he gets sent to this, I guess this center of the universe of all creation, where they meet the Monitor. And the Monitor looks like Vandal Savage fucked Thanos and had a son. Because he looks like the combination of Thanos and Vandal Savage. I kid you not. He's purple with fucking mullets, the mutton chops.
Purple though?
Yeah, he's purple with mutton chops. Looks like Thanos and Vandal Savage put together.
Even in the comic books, I think he was pink? Or like a light colored pink?
I don't remember, but he's purple as fuck.
Purple?
Yeah. And so they all get up there, and he gathers heroes from every planet on in existence. And you start seeing these weird things that change, like the Batman from Earth 1 that we know from the Amazo storyline meets Nightwing from he meets Robin from a different universe. He's like, oh, Bruce, it's been so long. How you been? Because in his universe, Batman's dead.
Yeah.
He's been dead. And then he meets, I need you to meet the Huntress. And you turn out the Huntress is his daughter. Like something, I forgot what her name is, but it's something Wayne. And she became the Huntress in that universe.
Yeah.
Like you've been dead for so long, Batman. It's nice to see you again. Batman's like, what the fuck? A kid? I always use a condom. Like mad as hell
until it got Damien.
Yeah. Still, if you guys ever know, he still wore his helmet, his head when he fucked Talia.
Yes, he's still Batman.
That's the goofiest thing. Like he didn't even take his helmet off. Like his whole cowl, the top of it, like he's butt ass naked with a cowl still.
Which is the funniest shit.
Unless you said keep the mask on.
I'm Batman.
Or she was the one that wanted him to keep the mask. I don't know. Okay, so you start seeing just a bunch of random characters. Some of them I don't even know who they were.
Yeah.
And of course the question pops up, right? And as the monitor is talking, the question's like, I got some questions for you first. Hold on. And he does give you some, he does ask some like actually pertinent questions because they come to find out that there's this something called I forgot what it's called in the movie, but it's like an antimatter wave that just disintegrates. It is like a massive wave that goes through every single universe and just destroys the Earth. And apparently the Earth is the center of because he asked like, why is Earth so important out of every planet in the universe? And he's like, whenever Earth falls, every other universe falls.
Because wasn't it Oa is the center of the universe, but Earth is the center of the multiverse? If I'm trying to remember DC lore at this point. Because Oa is where the Green Lanterns are, and that's the center of the universe. But then the center of the multiverse itself is Earth. That's why everything always happens fucking on Earth and not on Oa.
It's like the Florida of the just everything happens in Florida.
Yes.
So he's asking like the monitor says like Earth is the first, like if it falls, everything else falls. And I had a question too. I'm like, okay, so why do you need superheroes? If it's an antimatter wave, why did you have a bunch of scientists, like the smartest scientists that ever lived, like Albert Einstein and stuff, right? And then he answered my question because I had it in my head right after that. He's like, now some of you are some of the greatest scientific minds to ever live. So so basically what he does is he separates two teams. He has all the smartest superheroes ever, the smartest scientific minds of all time, like Mr. Terrific and Batman and Wonder Woman from Themyscira and Ted Korg, the Blue Beetle. They're trying to come up with a solution to stop the antimatter wave. Everyone else is on construction duty. That whatever they decide to do, they have to build it. So I'm like, they should have just got a bunch of Mexicans. Would have been a simpler plan because it took them forever to build the device that they needed.
Yeah.
Even with Superman, I'm like, you guys are taking way too long. If you had Miguel on this team, it would have been fucking done. What is y'all doing?
The new Blue Beetle?
Like, where's all the super? Yeah, Jaime would have had that shit done today. So they come up with this plan because they're all arguing, right? And fucking the Flash comes in. He's like, here's some coffee for everybody. And apparently he can phase through his mind through different points of time that he's been to. So he can phase in and out to different places. And so they're like, my God, brilliant. Because he found this coffee that was amazing on this different planet. And he just phased back there, remembered the recipe, and came back. And they're all like, this is the greatest coffee I've ever had in my fucking life. And they're like, oh, that's perfect. So what they plan to do is they plan to do these huge devices that would cause a vibrational, like humming thing, like a vibration that would phase. They would be basically the Flash phase, where he phases through walls and stuff. That would phase every Earth from getting hit with the antimatter wave, and so it would just go past the Earth and not damage it at all. So they're like, we just need to build it in time. And they're like, once the first one's built, the rest of them will be like it'll cause their own shockwave that'll reverberate throughout the rest of the Earth. But then for some reason, the antimatter wave starts going faster. So we didn't calculate for this. What the fuck? So it's about to hit the first Earth like that. Mm-hmm. And then the Flash is like, no, this can't happen. So he goes and runs to Iris West and he says, I'm so sorry. And he's like, oh, as long as we had each other, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, fuck that shit. It's basically like, fuck that. So he phases himself so fast that he creates a time bubble for him and Iris at the first Earth where the first device is. And you find out that he next spends the rest of his life, like they end up there in this bubble until they turn into really old man and wife. And they build the machine by themselves in that bubble while everything else has pretty much stopped in time.
Yeah.
So he's been spending like fucking 60 years. Like he's like a 92-year-old man. So I'm still the Flash. I gotta wake up in the morning. Because I saw them getting dressed, right, for work. And I'm like, they're still working at 60, like 92 years old? Man, the economy must be the shit. Because it never told you why they were going to work. Yeah. Like Iris was getting ready, like she was a handy woman. And he was like, well, better go to work. And he went into the fucking basement and started running on a treadmill. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They're still working at 97? They had no savings? That's what, because they didn't tell you why they were working. Yeah. But it turns out they were in this bubble. And they were trying to build a device themselves with the time stopped just by themselves. And they had Amazo's head. He had woken Amazo again to help him to power the machine or like coordinate, or like, I guess he was like the mainframe to make the machine turn on. So Amazo was like, I'm back. I got a purpose now. But just his head for some reason. I don't know what the fuck the rest of his body was. I don't remember.
That way you can't fight back?
Well, he wouldn't have fought back anyway. He's a good guy. He was just misguided. But he just had his head for some reason. So every day the Flash would wake up and he would run on the treadmill to give a little bit more power to the device. So because he was the only power source.
Yeah.
And then him and Iris would be building, because it's a huge fucking, like, it's only one of those, like, you know those, like, forks that are like those vibration forks?
Like a tuning fork?
Yeah, it's like that, but on a giant scale. So they built that by themselves for fucking years. And he's like, well, and then Iris dies of old age. He's like, no, fuck. And so him and Amazo are like, is this going to work? And Amazo's like, I have no idea. And he's like, bet. And they go for it. And if it just happens to work, and like they phase, it works. They phase through it. Or every planet phases through the antimatter wave. The antimatter was like, fuck. And because they say, like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like a living thing. So why would the antimatter wave go faster, knowing that they have a plan now to fix the or to solve the problem? So of course there's gonna be someone behind it. So then Barry Allen, like, you come to find out that the reason Barry Allen kept phasing, because in the movie he phases back and forth to different, like, points in his timeline, because he's phasing, like, mentally through every phase or every timeline, and like that's why the sequence is so fucking weird. Like, he'll phase, like well, the way I'm telling you the story is not how it happened. Like, he would phase from the point fighting Amazo, then he would phase to the future, then he would phase back to a point talking to during his wedding, then would phase to a point of him and Iris at the diner when they first meet. Then he would phase to another point, and they would be like the conference, the meeting, the press conference for the Justice League formation. Then he would phase back to, like, the anti-monitor thing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That's what the movie was like.
Yeah.
Him phasing, like, different points of his life.
Yeah.
And so he phases, like, I guess he caused some great time crime, and like someone's gonna come after him forever. Like, he talks to the Spectre, because the Spectre makes a cameo.
Yeah.
He's like, you committed a great crime. And like, who the fuck? Bear's like, who the fuck are you? Like, I'm Spectre. And then Spectre talks to the Monitor too, and he's like, they had like a bet or something. I don't know what the fuck was going on. It's like a weird cameo with the Spectre. And Barry Allen. So there was this old guy that kept bothering Barry Allen throughout every phase of this timeline. He would always come like, Barry, you have to stop. The world's going to be destroyed. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And this old man would show up constantly for whatever reason. He would just constantly show up. And Barry Allen, as an old man, was phasing through different timelines. He ended up in this, like, prehistoric era, right? With this weird fucking two guys. Like, they're in, like, super leather clothing, right? Like, just like a loincloths and like a helmet. And like, one has a fucking collar with a leash attached to the other guy. Like, the weirdest gay couple I've ever seen, you know, in prehistoric times, you know? And Barry Allen's like, oh, it's you. And then Barry Allen just disappears, like the Thanos snap, the dusting, and he's just gone. And it's just so fucking weird. Like, there's a cliffhanger at the end where a bunch of people start phasing away. Like something happened in a certain point in history that wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
So future time or future things are no longer exist. Like, you know that Brainiac 3000 from like the 31st century?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he starts disappearing. Some other chick disappears. Supergirl from 31st century, like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm like, what is, you know, it's part one. So there's actually 3 parts to this.
It seems to me like they're trying to combine Crisis on Infinite Earths and 0 Hour,
I guess,
together. I mean,
one of the coolest parts of the story was when he ended up on Earth 3, or what he called Earth 3 at the time, was the Crime Syndicate world, where like I guess a evil version of every superhero took over the planet, and they became the government. And like, you had, like, instead of Superman, it's like Ultraman, and then Wonder Woman is Superwoman, and then Batman's Owlman.
Yeah. And
my favorite character was Johnny Quick, was the Flash of their universe. And you come to find out that if you kill other people with Speed Force, the Speed Force opens up for you more. So kind of like the one from Jet Li, he had killed every other speedster on their planet with the help of the other team. So he was the fastest person ever, you know, in that universe. Yeah. And when Barry got there, his Speed Force got cut in half because now they were sharing it. I found that a pretty cool little, like, tidbit I never knew. Like, so yeah, if the Flash were to kill all the other Flashes, he'd be the fastest Flash to ever flash.
The really what messed up one though, because out of all the Crime Syndicate, I don't know if it's going to be that way in this Crisis on Infinite Earths one, but in the comic books, there's a person named Power Ring, which is the Green Lantern equivalent, and that ring just fucks him up all the time, where it's constantly causing him pain because it never wants to. It's almost like a parasite.
Really?
Yeah, for the Crime Syndicate.
It didn't show anything. Like so on Earth 3. Barry Allen gets caught by the Crime Syndicate, and they get taken to their fucking headquarters, which is the same place basically, and they're about to kill him because they put him on trial, and you come to find out that they're actually like 100% bored of this new world. So they had conquered everybody, beaten everything, and they're just bored. They're super powerful and bored. So when they find out that Barry's from a different universe, they want him to find a way. They want Johnny Quick to find a way to get to that one, and they could conquer that one as well. And then like all of a sudden the old man shows up, and he's like, that ain't happening. And he does some weird trick to everybody, and they come to find out, and like the antimatter wave hits the Earth first, and they're like fuck. And so Barry Allen and them try to help as many people as they can, but there's nothing they could do. Like Ultraman's fucking great plan was to slam into the fucking antimatter wave with his I can punch this shit, and he fucking disintegrates.
In the comic books, he also snorts what do you call it? Kryptonite.
Does he?
For his power.
Crazy.
Just snorts the shit like cocaine.
So all the villains. It's funny because like they come off as real bad people, right? And there's a point where one of the skyscrapers next to their headquarters is coming down, and you see Ultraman catch it, and like he makes it sit back up, right? You're like, oh, he's not that way, and he tips it over to fall the other way because he didn't want it to land on his headquarters. So he's like, fuck this shit. Because he looks like he's saving him, right?
Yeah.
And then he does. He fucking tips that bitch the other way. And so it's funny because Ultraman's like, fuck it, let's just slam into this thing. So they all try to attack the antimatter wave. Power Ring gets stuck underneath this bridge, and he's like, argh! And he gets fucking disintegrated. Superwoman too just accepts her fate. And then Barry Allen is talking to Owlman. He's like, Owlman, you're a strategist. Like, there has to be a way. And like, sometimes the only way is to just go. Like he basically says like there's no other option, that it's too late for them. So Owlman just slams himself into the fucking building. I'm like, okay. So him and Johnny Quick are running, trying to get away from the antimatter wave, and you sort of feel like Johnny Quick is not as bad as his contemporaries. Cause like you get that feeling when he's talking to Barry Allen, and like he just ends up sacrificing himself to give Barry Allen enough speed force to get out of there and back to his world. And so that's basically the whole movie. I told you in a easier way to understand it than I had to, because it was not in this order at all.
Yeah.
Every scene was a different scene from a different era of time.
That is very jarring.
It was.
Huh.
So that is it for the first one. Once part 2 and 3 come out, I'll get those as well. And next week I'll probably be covering the Whedon versus Snyder Justice League. That or there's a documentary on you ever heard about that guy in Japan back in the late 90s that was trapped in a hotel? No, he was trapped in a room as a contestant, and he was asked to fill out sweepstakes entries, and he could only have the items that he won sent to the apartment, so he could only survive on those things. And so until he accumulated enough money's worth of sweepstakes, like however much money it was, he would be let go.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was all part of like he was agreeing to it, right? It wasn't like against the law or anything.
Yeah.
But they strip him butt naked, and he has to stay in that room forever until not forever. Well, no, yeah, forever, because the whole time he never got to leave. But he never had anything that did not come from the sweepstakes winnings. So he was butt naked, never got any clothes. Food, he ended up getting dog food that he would eat at first, or rice. Or he would win a bike, or he won a PlayStation with no TV. So he's like, fuck. So it's called, the guy's name is Nabui or something. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but.
Yeah, I know what story you're talking about, but.
Yeah, they just did a new documentary on Hulu for that.
Really?
I kind of want to check that out, because I've seen the story on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to see a deeper dive on Hulu. So I might do that if I can find it. Or do that, or I was watching, I'm only going to do, I don't want to do Good Morning Vietnam. You already did that one, did you?
No.
Or didn't we talk about it?
No, we just talked about it before. Because we were talking about different Robin Williams movies and stuff like that.
Good morning, Vietnam. I was watching it on Tubi yesterday. You know Forrest Whitaker's in it?
Yeah.
I forgot he was in that movie.
It's actually a really decent movie.
Probably covering more like contemporary stuff for people.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do Fallout again, but only from the perspectives of a specific character. So it would be Lucy's perspective, episode 1 through 8, and then the next episode would be Maximus 1 through 8. And like they're only their storylines from their point of view.
Yeah.
And then the Ghoul one day, and maybe like Norm and Thaddeus. And from there, then, the New Boys is coming out soon. So we'll cover that. And what else? More DC stuff, like maybe like the old animated series are fun to watch, or the Batman stuff. What else could we do? I guess it's up to you guys. But I'll try to cover more, instead of doing like random stuff I used to do, more cinema.
For the YouTube viewers, comment anything that you want us to kind of check out.
Or don't, because you never do.
Which is fine. It is what it is. No hard feelings.
See, but my heart's broken. Good morning, Vietnam. I guess, yeah, I'm trying to think about what should do next. I might do, well, I do want to look at the documentary first, because the Justice League's not going anywhere. It's already there.
Yeah.
It's old.
Yeah.
And it's just like really a comparison of one to the other. But and the Amazon one will take longer because it's 3 different point of views. So I'll be watching the movie. It's like, let's see, what's 8 times 3?
24.
We watch it 24, basically 24 episodes.
24 hours.
Of maybe more if I do the Norm and the Thaddeus storylines too.
Yeah.
But that's fun. Fun for me. So that is it for Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, part 1. Part 2, apparently Batman fights Robin and his daughter. I saw a preview somewhere. Them just whipping his ass. He's like, what the fuck?
That was one of the few that I seen that I could rent on Amazon, and I never did. It's like, I don't want to see that.
Ooh, I could do that other one too. The Doom That Came to Gotham.
Oh, the one that you didn't like very well?
The book that I didn't like?
Yeah, the book.
I won't like the movie either, I'm sure.
Where it's a kind of a noir type.
It's more like Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be more Lovecraftian style.
Minus the racism.